forgive the mess. We got Christmas going on back here. We got stuff that we're moving around over there to make room for the tree and things like that. But we got a lot of stuff going on in the house. Yes, Miss Lucy. Yes. Today is a video on a topic that I thought that I would never, ever, ever have to make. But for the past couple of weeks, it's really been weighing on me. So I thought, you know what? The best therapy is to just talk about it, get it out there, get it in the open. And what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago? I saw a post from Post Secret, and it kind of blew me away at the fact that there's so many people out there like this, and I can't fathom the understanding of it. So let's go back. Let's go back in time. As most people know, I have been sober for 2.5, like 3 years now. I haven't really gotten blackout drunk. I haven't really done any other things. And it's been a great couple of years. I've been doing very well in that aspect. However, we're going to jump back. I want to say it's like 5 years. I think it's been 5 years since this has happened. It's either 5 or 6 years. It's been a long time. But once I get into it, you'll understand why I don't really remember and why I don't want to remember the exact day or any of that, okay? A little bit of a trigger warning. There is some stuff in here that you're not going to want to hear, and nobody's going to want to hear it. But unfortunately, it's true. It happened, and I can't take it back. All I can hope for is that one day this person eventually wakes up and realizes, that they are trash, and karma comes back to them and does what they need to do. So we're going to go back about 5 years, maybe 6. So I had, maybe we should go way back. All right, growing up, I had this friend. I had moved from where my hometown was until I was about 10. I moved to the town that I grew up in and went to school in and obviously graduated from. But I was about 10 when I moved out there, and I was the new kid. So there weren't a whole lot of, all these kids already knew each other. It was a whole new school that was open to everybody in the district. It was crazy times. And I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't grow up out here. I didn't make friends by my house. I didn't do any of that. I kind of secluded myself and stayed to myself and, was a loner because I didn't fit in. And there was one person that kind of, I don't want to say clung, but she started the inclusion process, and I was like, okay, cool. So then I met some other people from her, and from there, it was great. I made a couple friends. I had a real close group of friends, and then I had some semi-friends where you're friends, but you're not really hanging out kind of friends. And so from there, I just continued. Middle school came, and it was crazy. The girl that I had met that became one of my friends, like one of my first friends when I moved out here, she had mental disorders. And I don't know if you know, but if you have depression and you have someone else who has depression, it's like, it's a whirlwind of hell is what it is, because you're fighting it, they're fighting it. It's like putting two addicts together, and it's never a good combination. It does not go well. So I already had some depression, and I had things going on at home and stuff like that. And she also had some issues, and she had things going on at home too. So I was like, okay, no big deal, like, cool, we can still be friends, like, I get it, that kind of thing. And we were like 11, 12. We didn't really know. We had no idea that it would be terrible to be friends, but we, she was the one person that kind of kept me in the loop for the most part. And in return, like, it was whatever. So 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. 8th grade is when it started going downhill. 7th grade, I would just get like notes about how she wanted to kill herself. Like, she would write me like letters about how she wanted to die and how she wanted to kill herself and everything else. Well, 8th grade comes and we start becoming interested in boys. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, no big deal. Like, it's whatever. Well, we ended up getting put into a group. She knew I liked the boy that we got put into a group with, and her and the boy decided to go do extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean, in the basement while I did the project. We ended up getting a B, which was fine, whatever. I left after I got the project done, and I did not speak to her for like 2 weeks after that. I was so pissed. So then we go back to school, the project gets done, and she calls me into the counselor's office because she feels like I have an issue with her. Like, we're angry, we're fighting, and she needs to resolve it right then and there, and she wants them to mediate it. And so I tell them what happened, and I threatened to stab her out of anger, and they sent me home. I also gave them like all the letters about how she was wanting to kill herself, about how she was terrible at home, about how her dad would do all kinds of mean shit and beat her, about how her mom didn't care, like all this stuff. So like they ended up getting an intervention for her. Freshman year comes, she's gone. She is absolutely gone. She's in like group therapy, group homes, that kind of stuff. She's doing her own little thing. I'm not thinking much of it until senior year. She's back. And she happens to sit right next to me in psychology. At which point she looks at me and asks me my name, and I tell her, yes, that's me. I pretend like I don't know her, like I don't remember, like I'm trying to get her to go away, but she continues to persist. And she then tells me, I'm a lesbian, I've changed, everything's happened, like I thank you so much, you did the right thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not buying it. I'm really not. Like, at this point, I feel like it's kind of like a buyback to try and get back at me. And to this day, it has been a back and forth kind of thing. Anyway, I accept her apology, whatever. We end up talking and hanging out again. But this time it's not really outside of school. It's mostly in school. So we graduate, everything's fine, we go our separate ways. I talk to her once in a while on Messenger when she would message me, and I'd be like, yeah, no big deal, whatever, it's cool. Like, I'll chat, like, whatever, but I'm not gonna hang out with you. Well, eventually it became I have no friends kind of thing, but I really want people to come out for my birthday, blah, blah, blah. That's where this 5-6 years ago comes into play. So she makes a post on Facebook and she's like, I want people to come out for my birthday and I'll pay for the drinks and everything else. I just need people to celebrate with me because I've never been able to have a real birthday. And we're like 25, 26 at the time. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. Psh, yeah, let's go. So I'm like booking it. I'm like, great, I'll be there. I'll hang out with you. I brought my own money to buy my own drinks, like that kind of thing. Sorry, not really kid-friendly content. So anyway, so she posts and I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I brought my own money. I'm going to buy my own drinks. I thought that it would be a simple, we're going out, we're going to have a couple drinks, I'll go home. Well, my father ended up dropping me off at the bar and my mom was going to pick me up from the bar. All I had to do was make a phone call to her at the end. No big deal. So I'm there. Now, at this point in time, I had been drinking pretty heavily. And I don't mean that day. I mean, like, I could down like 8 rum and cokes and be totally fine, still coherent, know what's going on, that kind of thing. There were times where back in this, like 6 years ago, I was drinking like 3 or 4 pitchers with a friend of mine and we were totally okay. Like, I could still coherently call for a ride if I needed it. So this night I thought, no big deal, no different. I had some coworkers of mine, some people that knew my mother that would be at this bar that they frequented quite often. So I thought, I'm safe, no big deal. Like, if anything goes wrong, I can go hang out with someone else. So we get there. I had 2 beers from a pitcher. Now, if you know anything about that, the beers from a pitcher, the glass is like maybe the size of a pill bottle. It's not a very big glass at all. And they give you like 4 glasses for a pitcher. So I had 2 of those. And then I ordered a rum and Coke or a whiskey and Coke. I'm pretty sure it was a whiskey and Coke. And I went to the bathroom. I come back, and now mind you, I had ordered it and I figured, okay, she's here, she's gonna watch it, no big deal. I come back from the bathroom. I remember taking a sip of my drink and not remembering anything after that. I literally don't remember anything. From what I was told, I ended up disappearing for 45 minutes outside. At one point in time, I was just laying on the ground. I told them that I couldn't move. I didn't know what was going on. It was really, really nerve-wracking. And so from there, I went and I tried to remember what would happen or what had happened, but I wasn't really informed a whole lot. What I was told was that I was telling them not to tell me what happened. From what I was informed from a third party that was also there that night, my phone was taken away. I was trying to get them to drop me off at my friend's house, who was literally like 6 blocks away. Literally, you just had to drive over a bridge and you were right there. I tried getting them to bring me home and they would not. They wouldn't let me call anybody or get numbers off my phone because according to them, my phone was dead, but I was able to call for a ride in the morning, no problem. And that hadn't been on a charger at all. So I don't understand. I also woke up naked in a closet. Now, mind you, this was somebody that I trusted. I didn't trust her to the point where I thought this would happen. I trusted her enough to be a good Samaritan because we had gone to school together. We had basically grown up together for a few years. We knew each other from way back when. I thought that, because of her experiences and things that she had gone through in the past, that she wouldn't do this to other people. I woke up naked in a closet covered in bruises. As I came out of the closet, I saw a man on a bed, and I continued to gather my clothes from the corner of the room, and my phone from off of her dresser. I walked out into the living room. She was dressed. She was sitting there. She was smoking weed and just continuing to act like nothing happened. I asked her what had happened, and she told me that I informed her previously to not tell me what had happened. I then asked if I could borrow a pair of pants because my shorts were completely soaking wet. And she said, sure. Since then, I have destroyed said pants. I literally burnt them because I was so pissed. From what I was informed, I actually had asked to go to the hospital because I thought I was dying. And they told me no. They told me that I just drank too much and that I needed to go to sleep and everything would be fine when I woke up. But it wasn't fine. It was not fine for a few days. I hurt like crazy. I had to call the one person that I didn't want to actually end up seeing me in that kind of state, and he wasn't very happy either. What had happened, from my knowledge, was I ended up being date raped that night. There are plenty of medications that you can mix with alcohol that you don't even notice it's in there, and you don't remember a damn thing. You don't know what happened. You don't remember anything. And unfortunately, I was one of the victims that it happened to. And I mean, it sucks, and I get it. But it really hurt to know that you can't trust people. that you know, like you thought you know them, you thought you knew them so well, and you can't trust them. So it's unfortunate that it happens. It is very unfortunate. I don't wish it upon anybody. But we're going to fast forward a year later to where I kind of do a tit for tat. She told me that her child's father, mind you, I'm not supposed to know what she did to me. Remember, she won't tell me. She still won't admit it. She seems flabbergasted at the fact that I know little bits and pieces. She doesn't want me to know. So she told me that her child's father is the love of her life and that she hopes that one day they can get back together and work everything out. So I said, cool. I was like, hey, you want to, meet up? There's this dude that I know that kind of wants to do some stuff. She's like, sure. I know he's a man whore. I know she's clearly a whore. And so I, give them each other's information. They find each other on Facebook via moi. And like everything else, she wants to cut the middleman out of it, which would be me. So she ends up meeting up with him. They end up sleeping together, and she posts on Facebook about how she's tired of being cum dumpster and that all this other stuff. Now, mind you, I told her that he was the love of my life and that I would do anything for him, which would be the same that she just told me about her child's father. So you think she would understand how the feelings were, but she still did it anyway. So that's how I know she's trash. Well, we're going to fast forward to 2 months ago, October, November, 2 months ago. She started dating one of my friends who, to this day, still doesn't understand what happened. He doesn't really know, and she won't let him talk to me. She told him to delete me off of Facebook because I deleted her. I deleted her because she's a trash human. You've already slept with who I said was the love of my life. You've already slept with somebody that I had a crush with back in middle school. And on top of it, you slept with my cousin. You also date raped me. And you used people. I don't think I want you in my life. Like, that's just plain and simple. But because she thinks that she's like Miss Congeniality over here, she thinks that it's okay. And honestly, I hope it works out for her because I really don't see them lasting, which is not my place to be. But I do think evil humans should get what evil humans deserve. And if that's incarceration, if that is being bludgeoned to death in the middle of a street, so be it. But to me, she is absolute garbage of a human being. And yeah, I honestly don't wish that upon anybody. I hope that Kate gets what's coming to her. And yeah, I honestly, I can't wait. She has a child now. She still hasn't changed. She's still going to be a garbage human being. And unfortunately, they get to reproduce still. So that is my story. Please do not, I don't want to say distrust, but watch who your enemies are and keep them a lot closer than you think you should, because clearly they are not up to any good. The demons walk among us, and honestly, it is terrifying if you even knew half of what happens out there. There are so many people that end up getting raped, and then other friends are like, well, your rapist didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. They're innocent, yada, yada, yada. Like, just look at the Chris Watts case. Like, is it fucking, people are fucking crazy, okay? So, yes, I was date raped by a female, and unfortunately, she still walks among us free to this day because I was not allowed to go to said hospital. And the next morning, I thought that I had actually done something because that's the way that she had made it sound when I was on the phone. Like, I initiated everything. So, but the funny thing is, I don't remember anything. Like, if I can down so much alcohol, and then at this night, I was completely sober. I had 2 beers and a sip, and suddenly blackout. I think that something clearly was wrong. So, I am well on my way for recovery, 3 years sober, and I have a wonderful husband now that absolutely loves me and really, really hates that bitch. But yes, I will let you all go. I just needed to get that off my chest and let it out and have people just hear me out. Just vent a little bit, feel a little bit better, lighten the load, lighten the burden. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy out there. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I got gifts to wrap before Christmas comes, and it seems like I'm taking up way too much time before Christmas. I'll talk to you later. Bye.